What's up? This is live action news with Drew Brees. Love to see it. You love to see it. My man Theory said it's mid nigga season, which means it's time for me to go up. I'm here at live action headquarters. Very, very proud of my man, Travito. 212 Travito. You want to check him out on Instagram Live. You want to check him out on all your social platforms. Travito is actually a little bit more notorious in the streets, so you might have to find him outside. Today we're gonna talk about KD, bro. KD decided to stay with the Nets. He got back down. They got my man Theory in the background. He was playing some of his Rager music, making me feel super out of touch. I actually have to ask Theory, what's your definition of nerf? Because I've heard the term, but you gotta excuse me. I'm an old man. I'm washed. I don't know what nerf means. Can you define that for me?
Nerf is?
Yeah, what's nerfing? Like, what does that term mean?
It's kind of like, cutting someone down. Like, you cut something down,
Okay.
like a tree.
Okay.
Just cutting it down. Like, it's
All right.
too tall. Cut it out.
Nerf them.
Yeah,
Nerf them.
nerf
Okay, I'm about to start nerfing these podcasts out here, bro. I'm about to start nerfing everybody. I was really, really happy to come up to the Brex and start the live action news hour. This is perfect for your lunch break, perfect for your blunt break, and we're just gonna go into the news. So far, breaking news: KD, Kevin Durant, one of the NBA's biggest superstars, is actually here in Brooklyn to stay for the next 4 years. And someone told me, a little birdie told me on my shoulder, that the Chinese owner of the Brooklyn Nets backed KD down. He backed that 7 foot, 190 nigga down, and he was not afraid to flex billions of dollars on him. Like, look, your salary is a drop in the bucket, but I could also destroy your reputation. So KD, who is with the world's most notorious hotep in Kyrie Irving as his teammate, his best friend, is now back in Brooklyn, begrudgingly back in Brooklyn as a superstar. How is he going to handle it? I don't know how many of you have gone through this situation, but I'm going to run you through what the analogy is of KD staying in Brooklyn. Have you ever, Theory, I don't know if this ever happened to you, have you ever lived with your broad and then broke up and y'all was still living together? Like you had to pay rent. You had to pay rent. You had to be under the same roof with the person that you broke up with.
No, I did.
You have?
I did.
How long were you under the same roof?
Oh,
Oh man, so you were stuck. You couldn't. Theory was with his bitch under the same roof. He couldn't go nowhere.
nowhere.
Right? It's got to be the worst situation possible, and that is where KD is now. KD decided, he was like, you know what? I'm done with this relationship. Not working for me. We're breaking up, and unfortunately, his bitch said, nah. I pay the bills here, bro. I pay that light bill. I pay for that shoe deal that you can get. I pay for all this, the boardroom, the production company. All that shit is made possible by me. And when Joe Tsai cut off the possibility of the pipeline, the big salary, KD was like, you know what? It's all right. It's cool. You know what I mean? I'll stay because I have to. I know Trav. the ground, but then embrace that. You know what I mean? You could be the dude in the studio. You could be Theory, who's making songs, or you could be on the sideline. If you on the sideline, just recognize you on the sideline, right? Like, KD is not the type of person who's going to be on the sideline and then be proud of it. He's like, I want the treatment of the superstar, of the main event, of the alpha. I want all that treatment, but I don't want any of the blame. He's like, I want this. Theory said, I want to be the superstar, but don't put that shit on me if shit goes wrong. Don't put it on me if shit goes wrong. Now, well, so then you're not a KD nigga. Oh. KD doesn't want the blame if it goes wrong, and that's actually part of the problem here. That he started out with such a great intention. He had this ambition, put the Brooklyn Nets on the map, as if Brooklyn needs to be put on the map, bro. Have you ever heard of Brooklyn? There's no place in the world. There's no place in the world I've gone. And shout out to Travito, shout out to Harlem and the Hill. But there's no place in the world that I've ever gone. And I've been to some places. I ain't been everywhere, but I've been to some places where somebody didn't shout out, is Brooklyn in the house? And you hear at least one voice. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Iceland. Man. And I went to Iceland and I said to the clerks at the airline, like, hey, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from Denmark. And they go, where are you from? I said, I'm from Brooklyn. They said, oh, Brooklyn, I know Brooklyn, Biggie Smalls. Everybody knows Brooklyn. We did not need Kevin Durant to put us on the map. We did not need Kyrie Irving to put us on the map, especially, and no disrespect to Jersey, but that's a Jersey nigga. We don't need people from nearby, lesser locations to put us on the map where we are. But Kevin Durant, with his potential plan, his master plan, was like, okay, I'm going to bring Brooklyn back. It's like, dog, Brooklyn been back for like 20 years. New money, so they have to go to Jersey, and they have like really nice duplexes in Jersey City. They have homes in Plainville in the suburbs. This is what I suggest to Kevin Durant: get you a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Make sure it's high ceilings though. Go somewhere like near the shoreline. Get you a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, right? And just walk around among the people. That will make you Brooklyn's biggest hero, because people will see you didn't want to leave, right? You didn't want to go, and you made a mistake. You're willing to make amends, because what we don't do well with in Brooklyn and in New York at large is people who say they want to be here, bring all the hype with them, and then they leave when things get hard. Because we've got so many of those. I can't tell you, in every roommate situation I've ever had, especially from people who are out of town, you could attest to this. How many people do you know, Trav, from out of town, who came, they had big Brooklyn and New York ambitions. They had big city ambitions, New York, Harlem. I'm going to come to Midtown. I'm going to have a big media career. I'm going to be a superstar. And then they left when shit got rough. The first time they couldn't pay rent. The first time mommy and daddy couldn't chip in on the rent, they left. And you know what? New York will eat you alive if you had that attitude. I can't count the number of roommate situations, the number of friendships that have died because somebody thought you was ready for New York and you were not. You thought you ate, right? That's what the little girlie say. You thought you ate, KD. You thought you ate. You won one playoff series. You thought you ate. You got a little MVP buzz. You've been injured the rest of the way. KD played, I believe, 29 games in the last 2 seasons. And he trade demanded. Brooklyn Nets trade demand. He said, look, I want out of here. And the 2 teams he demanded to play with are the 2 other best teams in the league. So he said, you know what? not only am I going to leave my wife in this divorce because this is a broken relationship, I'm going to try to get the next bad bitch on the block. I'm going to try to get the baddest bitch on the block. And you know what the baddest bitch said to him? The baddest bitch said, nah, we're not interested. Is that we have a good relationship. We got a ring. We got a ring on it. We don't need you. And so now Katie is stuck. He's stuck in the apartment that he just rented. He just leased for 4 years. He broke up with his girl. She's there too. She's on the lease too. And now he has to live with the consequences of his actions like other adults. And that's why this cast is about having to make adult decisions. How do you make an adult decision? How do you make a business decision that serves you even though you might look foolish? Because we've all had to make adult decisions that don't exactly go with the thing we had planned, right? Where I started, okay, I'll tell you about the adult decision I just had to make because it's relevant here. The adult decision I just had to make was to make sure I had enough to pay these exorbitant New York rent prices before I decided I'm going to be a podcaster now. Because I could sink or swim at this point. And I can't risk something like a big media investment, because that's what this is all around us. This is a huge investment, right? Trav Studio, this is one of the best in New York. And I had to prepare for my investment. I had to say, hey, you know what? Put money on the line. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to fail, but I'm going to go at it real hard. Katie was not willing to fail. Katie was not willing to say, hey, this is a time where I can prove myself. I can be the one. And it might be rough, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Nah, what happened was he saw his old bitch doing well. He saw Golden State doing well. He saw them win a championship, and he got salty. He said, I don't know if I can deal with this. She's breaking my heart. She looks sexy with that other guy. She looked like she lost some weight. She looked like she just got fit for the first time, and he couldn't handle it. He could not handle it. He decided to cut bait, leave his new girl, and said, "Oh, you're not better than my last bitch. You ain't better than her. You don't look better. You ain't got the 30-inch weave in your head. You ain't got the platinum lace front. I don't want that. I need the bitch with the BBL, with the bad body. I need the Kardashian of the situation." And you know what the Kardashians said? They said, "No, you ain't big enough for us. You don't have what we need to go up, to upgrade, to level up." And unfortunately, Katie is stuck with his old bitch in the same situation. So let that be a lesson to all you carpetbaggers. That's a term for a person who comes to a town, especially one like New York, to create new opportunities. Let that be a lesson to you, right? Hillary Clinton, she came to New York. You know why? Because she was trying to be president, right? How'd that work out for her? She said, I'm going to be a senator in New York. I'm going to make my mark here. I'm going to show the whole world, the whole nation, that I'm a leader. Went up against Donald Trump, got dunked on, right? She didn't really understand that to be a New Yorker, you have to be a survivor. You have to be willing to deal with some of the most gruesome realities that you've ever seen in your life. Matter of fact, Trav, I was just seeing this story in the Bronx, right where we are, in the Bronx. Some Bronx teenagers beating up on old ladies because they couldn't smoke za in the hallway. That's how wild and raw New York is. They say, yo, we can't roll up in front of your doorstep, blow smoke rings under your door, so we gonna beat up your 65-year-old grandmother. That's what New York really is. And people have it twisted because over the years, New York has been kind of sanitized, right? Since Giuliani took down Times Square, since we added all these franchises, Whole Foods, Amazon is here, Walmart, we can't even get Walmart in fully, but Walmart's here, Kmart's here. So since those came to New York, everybody thinks shit is sweet. But actually, most of New York is the working class. They're people who are fighting. They're gritty. They're scraping to survive. And unless you have that attitude, I don't care if you're a hedge fund banker, I don't care if you're a big real estate guru, social media star, unless you're willing to grit and grind and be out here scrapping and scraping with the same motherfuckers who beat up a 65-year-old grandmother. They'll beat up your grandmother to smoke Zai in the hallway. Like, low stakes. Shit doesn't mean nothing. That's who you're fighting with in New York, right? So if you don't have that attitude, if you waltz into New York thinking, all right, I'm going to get what I need to get, and nothing's going to go wrong for me, you got another thing coming. You got it all the way twisted. I can't think of any major stars who came out of New York who didn't have to struggle. Lady Gaga, she's another great example. She was a struggler. She was a striver and a struggler. Homegirl, Jennifer Lopez, she was a striver and a struggler. She was on the 6 train, right? She was sleeping her way to the top in Hollywood. She was a living color dancer, right? She had to do all the things required to get to the position that she's in, which is why she's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about these bitches no more. I'm Beverly Hills now, because I made it in New York, right? So KD, he had it sweet. He thought, all right, I already got my championship ring. New York is going to be grateful for me. He's about to find out a whole new side of things. Because when he returns to that Brooklyn bench, although New York fans will be happy that they have Kevin Durant in uniform, there's going to be a huge contingent of them who are very, very dissatisfied, who are going to boo him when he has bad games, who are going to trash him in the columns and on the blogs and on the Instagram lives. And KD's the same kind of person who, I'm going to tell y'all, he actually has confronted a fan. I'm going to show you when Kevin Durant confronted a fan who yelled at him going into an airport. Because that's how soft he is. When things don't go his way, he's willing to angrily go at somebody because they didn't fit what he needed to do. So I'm going to show you this video. This is from fadeawayworld.net. I'm going to show y'all the tweet. And he said, be respectful, motherfucker. You see, that's when KD want to curse. He said, be respectful. He didn't curse at Joe Tsai. I bet that. I bet he didn't curse at Joe Tsai. Alright, I'm going to show y'all the video here. I'm going to pull it up. This is our first time testing this, so let's see how it goes. Trav, let me know how it looks on the screen. This is KD going at a fan. He said, be respectful, motherfucker. He pronounced every syllable. He said, be respectful, motherfucker. He said, be respectful, motherfucker. I don't care if you're a fan, motherfucker. He didn't care. And here's the problem with when you are you're tough on the internet, and then you come to a place like New York, right? In New York, we outside, bro. Like you might meet some people who never had an Instagram account, who never had a Facebook account. They never had anything to show you what they are, what their opinion is. In fact, they don't care what you think. On the way up here, Trav, it was so funny. So I was on the 4 train coming to the 6. I'm coming from Brooklyn, right? And I'm just minding my business. I'm scrolling my phone, whatever. And there's a lady on the train who somebody bumped into her, I guess. Somebody was like, bumped into her, and this lady, she was a colorful, one of those New York colorful subway characters. You know what I mean? She had like a multicolored bandana on. She had aviator shades. Somebody bumped into her, and she said, that's why you say excuse me. And no, I'm not about that. You say excuse me to me. See, y'all Manhattan motherfuckers, I might have to curse you out because I need room. I don't be sitting on the subway. Them seats is too dirty. That's not my style. I need room to shake. Now, mind you, she has earphones in, right? Now, Cypress Hill's song Jump Around is playing in her earphones loud enough for me to hear it down the bench. And she said, I need room to shake my booty. And she started twerking. And people moved from around her because they was like, this woman is unstable. I don't know what I'm about to get into. And she made it very clear that she is unstable and she don't give a fuck about none of y'all. That is what you run into New York. That type of energy. You know what I mean? Yo, do you have a rag? I need a rag and the fan because it's like dumb hot over here actually. But imagine that. Imagine, I'm talking about heat. There's niggas in New York who sit in a subway car hotter than this. Yeah, I feel it. Thank you. Appreciate you. They'll sit in the subway car hotter than this. Like right now, I'll say it's probably about a cool 72, 73 degrees where we're taping, where we're live broadcasting. This is the live action news hour. Trav, what you think, bro? This is the live action news hour with Drew Brees. Theory's in the spot. Yeah. Yo, it's been a long time coming. We're really proud to have this platform. Absolutely, to have this platform with y'all. My homie Trav is killing it as a director. He helped me get this all set up. This was a vision years ago. Years ago, when we was at that network. I'm not gonna say no names. The network actually don't have no problems with me, man. It was just haters there. It was just haters and actually a lot of frauds.
A lot of them haters.
Yeah, them haters is gone. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. A lot of haters, a lot of frauds. We ain't saying no names. We don't gotta say names. I'm not trying to give them free press, right? We can't give them free pub. They doing what they doing at other places. That's good for them. You know what I mean? That's really terrific for them. Yeah. So there's some other really crazy stories going on, and I actually want to get one of them on screen. And I don't know if y'all heard about the TikTok therapist. It's actually been really wild seeing her downfall. Yeah, so there's a therapist on TikTok. It's a black woman. She's actually now been banned from TikTok, and she's been fired from her job. Right? The reason she was fired is that she went on TikTok and she said that actually, you know, I'm gonna pull up the video. I'll pull up the video so we can watch it. We can watch what she did. She nerfed herself. She nerfed herself, dog. She got fired because she was talking shit about black men needing therapy. And unfortunately, even though many black men, and I'll repeat this, many black men will benefit from therapy. Listen, I've been in therapy at different points throughout my life from age, I want to say 14 on. And I always think, especially black women therapists, especially the majority of my mental health practitioners who have intervened in my life made me safer for myself. You heard? I was not safe for myself. And there were black women therapists who cared about me enough to say, here are the ways you can be safe for yourself. And if you can be safe for yourself, you'll be safe for others, and you'll be more productive in life, and you'll live a happier life. That is not the message this therapist was giving to men. That was not what she was saying. What she said, and hopefully this video still plays, because I know she was banned from TikTok. So we're gonna find out if the video still plays. If it'll come up on her. Yeah, it's about to be cold case on her. So it's playing. She said, I shit you not. On Monday, I said this about black men. By Friday, they got me out of the paint. They got me up out of the paint. I was done. I shit you not. So I'm gonna play the original video that actually got her in all the trouble. Let me see if I can find it. That was the one she's explaining she gets fired. So I'm gonna try to find the original video. Okay, this is not it either. She said, if you want to be a hoe, be a hoe. I agree with you. If you want to be a hoe, be a hoe. I'm a hoe. So I agree with you. Listen, her message was not innately negative. It wasn't inherently negative, but it's the way she put her message. This is why. Yeah, and I want to find the actual video. No, this is not it. This is not it. Which is the one, boy? Oh, word? Okay, her account's still there. They said online that her the video was gone, but it's still here. Okay, here you go. Okay, hold on. She's talking about when she went viral on Twitter. This might be it. You know, look, I can't say what a therapist looks like, because 'cause you can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can look like a lot of things and help people. You know what I mean? You can lo You can look at like a lot of things and help people. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. It's not close. Be closer. That's not the one. That's not the one. See if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. That's the one where she's telling you to be a hoe. She said, "Be a hoe. Get right with yourself. Be a hoe." I don't know how that innately helps anyone, but sometimes people need permission. They need permission to do what they was going to do anyway. So that's good for them. Don't struggle with shame. You're gonna feel shameful about things that you already was gonna do. Okay, here we go. I think this is the one. This is the one right here. Go forward. Here we go. Here we go. How do I get the volume up?
Extensive emotional vocabulary and intelligence does not mean that the motherfuckers want to have the same. And to be quite frank and quite honest, my credentials don't prevent these motherfuckers from being weird as fuck. So, yeah, being a therapist has nothing, little, fuck all, zilch, nada, nothing to do with the healing that y'all need to do within yourselves.
She said, being a therapist has nothing to do with the healing that y'all need to do within yourselves. So let's just break that down for a second. She is in a profession that heals, and she's making public statements that her being a healer has nothing to do with your healing. So just sit with that for a second.
I go to therapy weekly. I journal.
It doesn't look like it.
I meditate. I shake his ass for the spirits, for the gods.
That's all good. That's fine.
The things that I want in life. However, I've not been able to manifest somebody with some common fucking sense. In fact, I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent with you. When I tell motherfuckers I'm a therapist, several things happen. One, there's like, oh fuck, don't feel like seeing myself. I'm a skedaddle. Another thing happens, oh fuck, I can get free therapy and coach from this bitch. No, I charge upwards of a.
Okay, she charges. Listen, nothing's free with this person. I'll tell you that right now. If you have to hang out with her, if you have to relate to her, that is a high. I know to me it would be a high cost. To me, it would be a very high cost to have to pay to have some peace. I know in my relationships, I want to be challenged. Yes, I want to have great, involved, engaged, layered discussions. But I'm guessing that you cannot have those kinds of discussions with a person like this.
100 plus an hour. Y'all are not talking to me for free no more. Fuck out of here. And then another thing happened. I attract narcs just from the strength of being a healer. And y'all just like fucking
Narc is the term short for narcissist, right? That's what she's saying, that she attracts narcissists. And I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on diagnoses, but this person exhibits narcissistic behavior. So I think part of the reason why she attracts narcissists is because she projects a narcissistic attitude herself, right? You may actually attract the thing that you are.
Scope us out like fucking, I don't know, but yeah. Being a therapist don't fucking matter. Y'all are full of shit anyway. I hope
the y'all is black men. The y'all is black men.
Because as of now, all y'all deserve is hell in jail. But I'm open to forgiveness.
She's talking about black men, mind you. So that wasn't even the video. The video where she talks about black men specifically is where she says that black men are dusty bitches, she calls them. She says black men are emotionally stagnant, right? She says we don't have the emotional vocabulary, and that women do. So these kinds of generalizations I find at least irresponsible. I'm not an expert on the therapist code of ethics, right? But I know every medical practitioner, every lawyer, anyone who interacts with the public doing some kind of interpersonal service, they have a code of ethics. This woman, however, seemed to want to, if not violate her code of ethics, test it. She wanted to test it for the clout, right? And she got it. Her followers have gone up from the other day she had 148,000 when this started last Monday. She now has 246,000 followers, right? She doesn't have a job, but she has 246,000 followers. I would be curious to see how many of those followers are going to chip in on that Cash App to pay the rent next month, right? Because people will be very willing to watch you crash and burn. They're very willing to watch the spectacle of you living out all your thoughts on social media. They're very, very willing to do that. Are they going to be just as willing when you start reaching out to them and say, hey, you know, this TikTok content, just like she was saying about the therapy, I ain't letting you get it for free no more. What if she says, hey, this content, you got to pay for it now? Imagine how many people are going to pay for this knowing that she needs it. That it's not just her flailing in front of people for attention, that she needs money for that attention. We'll see. But I got to find this video for y'all because it's really important. I'm hoping that she didn't take it down. I'm hoping she didn't take it down because it's the infamous. This is her most infamous video at this point. Right?
Well, it's your friendly neighborhood therapist who Washington Citizens homes who got her job terminated as a
This
result.
isn't it.
Story.
This isn't it. I'm still looking at it. I'm still looking for it for y'all because it's very pronounced, right? But I don't know. They might have taken it off her feed. Yo, Theory, can you do me a favor and grab me one of these bottles of water? It might be in a bottle of water in the fridge. Anyway, my point being that this therapist was then outed, like her real name, her real job, was outed on social media. They, thank you so much, sir. The social media trolls took to her online. They doxed her to her job, right? They revealed what her name and identity were. They pointed her job, who would not have known her personal thoughts if she didn't have a TikTok. If she didn't have a TikTok saying discriminatory, biased things against black men, none of this would have happened, right? But now her job's aware, so they get word from, you know, online sources or people who are calling in because now they know where this person lives or where they work because they posted a video, because they were looking for clout, because they were looking for infamy. And guess what? They got it, right? She got the infamy she was looking for. The job said, you know what? This does not go with my code of ethics. And I'm going to read the statement from the job. And it actually doesn't even matter whether or not it's with the therapist code of ethics. The person who paid you decided, hey, you know what? This isn't with our standards. And since it wasn't with their standards, they decided to dismiss her and to relieve her of her duties. That's the polite way of saying she got nerfed. They relieved her of her duties. So I'm gonna show you the statement that her job made. Let's see if I can get it up on screen. Yo, Trav, you with us? I'm about to check the live stream with the live chat. Trav, you with us? Say something to me in the chat. I want to see what we got going on as I pull up the statements. Yo, that's when you know you fucked up. When people making statements, it's like they got to issue a statement about what you did. That's when you know you fucked up. Oh man, they gotta put a PR statement out about your dustiness. Hold on, let me find a statement from her former employer explaining why they were not able to keep her services. Got it somewhere over here. Here we go. I keep a lot of articles, y'all, so I just have to search through all my chats. Yo, shout out to Koku Puffs. That's my co-host on the Unhinged podcast. We're gonna be coming at you live very soon. Can't wait for that moment. I can't wait for that moment. That's gonna be real wild. That's gonna be real wild, and we're gonna go live from wherever in the city because we be outside. Koku specifically be at the Applebee's. You know what I mean? She got a lot of good favor over there. So we're gonna go get some deals. 1 through 5 now. You know what I'm saying? Come on, where's the statement? Statements. almost there. Don't worry. Hold on for us. I'm checking out the live stream comments. Alright, Theory. What up with you, bro? That's a good shout out in the comments. Anybody wants to log in live? Here we go. Here's the statement from Grow Well Cleveland. This is where she worked. This is the statement from Grow Well Cleveland. It's the mental health company. At Grow Well Cleveland, we respect the privacy of all employees, former and present. And we don't comment about personnel issues. She's a personnel issue now. We are aware, of course, of the social media posts. They didn't even shout out her name. They said, we're aware of the social media posts and want to emphasize that the sentiments expressed in the social media posts and videos in no way reflect Grow Well Cleveland's ethical or professional values. The statements made in the videos and much of the follow-up commentary online. So that's rah shots. They said, not only in the first video did you say some dumb shit, you made more videos in the follow-up commentary, like a dummy. Do not follow the ACA Code of Ethics or the laws and rules of the Ohio Counselor, Social Worker, and Family and Marriage Therapist Board. Additionally, the statements do not reflect how our organization handles cultural inclusion. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Yo, she's not culturally inclusive. You know what's the problem with being a black man online? Is that we can be the whipping post of every group. And because we're men, we don't get considered among black women as discriminatory language. So they could call us all type of motherfuckers and niggas and dusty bitches, and they don't consider us part of the groups that are in a protected class. But guess what? In almost all law, we are a protected class because you can't discriminate against people by race or gender or origin or sexual orientation. But what a certain segment of social media doesn't understand, what a certain segment of social media doesn't understand, and I would say a lot of this is on Twitter, but I think it's a lot of black women have to start being accountable to how they talk about us as men online. Because in fact, if we spoke about any other group, and I'm not just talking about black men here, if we spoke about any other group in any of those marginalized categories in the way that we speak about black men, there would be a huge uproar. If we spoke about Asian men like this, if we spoke about Latino men like this, right? Remember when Trump was calling all Latino men rapists? He said they're coming over, they're raping your daughters, right? Like that really happened, and everybody had to pause and be like, yo, like bro is tripping, like what is he talking about? So, but black men, especially when the delivery is from black women, we get called all type of dusty motherfuckers, stupid, assaulting, like we get reduced to the same stereotypes that we're trying to fight. Now, that's not to say that black men who are dusty shouldn't be called out, that ones who are bigoted shouldn't be called out. That's not saying that. We should hold ourselves accountable to a high standard. But unfortunately, with Bree here, she was not accounting for the fact that she's going to hit more people than she's aiming at. Because when you make a broad statement like that, when you say, oh, 90% of black men who I've treated, y'all are emotionally stagnant. So she's not saying black men who I've encountered could use help to work on their emotional compassion. She's saying, nah, catch up. Y'all some dusty bitches. You don't even deserve to talk to me. These are all things she said in her videos. You don't even deserve to talk to me. And now she's fired. And now the trolls are on her ass. They're texting her. They called her job. They got her fired from her job. Now, who's right in the situation? And it's actually not about who's right and wrong. It's about what's going to happen when you say shit online. What's going to happen, right? Like, you have to be able to measure. Like, there are things that I said on this live stream that I have to go back and listen to and say, did that come off right? Was that the meaning I intended? Am I a person of social responsibility once I take the platform to go and speak on something, right? And that's why I use words like some. I don't say, women, the way y'all be acting is crazy. No, some black women online disparage black men in a very narrow way. Some of them do. That some might be very vocal, right? And you have to understand the difference between saying something that has nuance and saying something that has a specific description and something that's generalized and that is actually going to come out like the same damaging stereotypes that black men and women have been fighting for hundreds of years. So one thing I do think is that Bree is going to have a career after this. Like I said, Trav, she picked up 100,000 followers in a week through this controversy. So she has a flock. That's the thing about social media. You're going to get, misery loves company. So even if your platform is misery, you're going to find all the miserable people to affirm what your miserable shit is. So if you're willing to play in the shit, if you're willing to kick up mud and play in the shit and be miserable all the time, I don't know how they do it, but there are people who do it. Just like there's fitness gurus online, just like there's wealth gurus online, you can find anybody online who has your same mindset. And it's not all positive, but they will encourage you. They will say, yeah, follow me. Yeah, follow me. Yeah, pay me. Subscribe to me, right? But you have to be willing to accept what comes with that. And I think with Bree here, she wasn't willing to accept what comes with being a clinician, being a therapist, and then how she might be challenged as an authority, how she might be scrutinized as an authority based on that role, and how that might conflict with social media. And I think that's a challenge. That's a challenge in a lot of professions, because there was a lot of doctors and nurses talking about the vaccine, talking crazy about the vaccine. There was a lot of doctors and nurses, and you know what? They lost their jobs too. You know what I'm saying? Because once you bring that professional authority where people entrust you with a certain amount of expertise, once you bring that with you into the social media space, be prepared for how the court of public opinion is going to sometimes clash with your professional responsibilities, right? So, because like I could be here in front of a YouTube screen saying really whatever I want, because that is the definition of free speech. I don't have to be an expert. I can just say it, right? We've known this now in the years of social media. I can just say it. Yeah, I can just say it, and that's all that matters. But if you're going to say it, be prepared for how what you say is going to affect you later. How what you say might exclude you from the area that you thought was your main bread and butter, because then you might have to trade that. And you know what, honestly, the same goes for Kevin Durant. This is actually a great Kevin Durant point. If Kevin Durant wants to be the man on the basketball court, he can't also be the man on social media, which has been another huge problem of his. And he would not note it as a problem. He would not describe it as a problem. But Kevin Durant's statements on social media and his activity on social media give away how he really feels. You notice how as soon as the Warriors had a loss in the finals, Kevin Durant tweeted. He said, high-level basketball, gentlemen. As soon as the Warriors were in a position, as in his old bitch, his old girlfriend wasn't looking good out there, and he was like, aha, I'm dancing on your grave. You nothing without me. Nothing without me. And then when the Warriors won, and Steph Curry, the MVP of the finals, who he claimed to have no trouble with, he was silent. He was silent. It wasn't all those tweets. It was clapbacks against people who were hating on him. And what does that tell you? Are you trying to be a clapback artist, or are you trying to be a basketball player? And if you're going to be one, can you be the other? That's my question to KD, who I'm a huge fan of. And I'm even a bigger fan of him now that he's decided to make an adult decision. Because most of our decisions in life are crucially uncomfortable to us. They mean we have to serve a calling. We have to serve a role. We have to submit to a commitment we've made instead of doing what is fun, what soothes the ego, what is gracious and nice and looks good. No, the decisions we have to make as adults are ugly. They're ugly decisions. We have to decide to leave that friend behind who was so great for us because they're not serving us. They don't have the boundaries. They're not ambitious in the same way. They don't have the same sense of purpose. You have to leave that friend behind. Even though, man, when it was time to party with that friend, it was perfect. Y'all couldn't be more of friends. But adult decisions are ugly decisions, right? And KD finally decided to make an ugly decision by staying with the Nets. And you know how you can tell it's an ugly decision? Because it's not the decision he talked about at first. And he ain't going to talk about it now that he's made it. I'll say that. There will be no KD breaks his silence. Always wanted to be with the Nets. There will be no articles. There will be no videos. There will be no podcasts. That's what happens when you are responsible versus when you are a juvenile, right? And what's the Bible quote? When I wanted to be a man, I had to walk away from childish things. KD finally walked away from childish things, which can be hard when you're a man who gets paid to play a child sport for a living. And now he's found out, look, that child sport has major adult decisions involved with it. Major, like hundreds of millions of dollars invested into him, which means he's going to have to do things that he doesn't want to do.